Good evening. I'm in the studio this afternoon with the Reverend Dr. Anthony Davis. Good afternoon, Dr. Davis.
I am doing fine. How are you today? Thank you for having me. It's great when a social justice practitioner has an opportunity to talk to the people who are in the trenches. And you certainly have been a friend to this community, making sure that we're informed and we have the information that can impact us as a community to make good, sound decisions. So thank you for this opportunity to share with you today.
My first question is, how did the president make so many mistakes in 7 months?
Wow. Well, first of all, we have to remember that to some, it hasn't been a disaster. But I want to go back to something that I heard. I think it was the Friday before the election. We were in Charlotte, and President Obama was doing one of his last speeches to push for, at that time, candidate Hillary Clinton. And he said that when you take this oath, and when you step into that office, you have to be ready to lead day one. But what we found is this president, as you've asked, in 7 months, it appears that it's a disaster. It's because America did not hear President Obama and others that said he wasn't fit to lead on day one. And so that answers your own question. He wasn't prepared for the job day one. But this is the reality of what happens when the American voters speak. And this is who we elected as 45.
Dr. Davis, can you tell me how did President Trump get elected?
It was the climate of the country. And it basically revealed where America was as a nation. But I think it's deeper than that. I think that he won because he appealed to so many of the segmented fractions in our country. For example, for the people who did not like Hillary Clinton, guess what? They fell into the Trump camp. For the people who felt as though another 4 years with the Democrat in the White House meant an extension of democratic policies. If you were for pro-life, and not pro-choice, you fell into the Trump camp. And the list goes on. If you were a coal worker, American worker in poor rural areas, if you were part of the group that felt as though that we needed to make America great again because America is not great because minorities have had access to education and we're taking jobs away, you fell into the Trump camp. And now that's why we have this disaster 7 months after the inauguration.
Can you share your thoughts on the events that taken place this past week in Charlottesville, Virginia?
Wow. It's been a week now, and what we found in Charlottesville was neo-Nazi, the alt-right, coming to march. But contrary to what the president said, I didn't see any peaceful protesters as it relates to that. What you had there were racists who were carrying torches, who were marching and making anti-Semitic comments, making comments against African Americans. And make no mistake about it, there were some mean people in that crowd. And they clashed with those who said, you will not intimidate us, and things were very, very violent. But as you can see all over the country, that same spirit and energy is starting to take shape. Even in Durham, earlier today, there were clashes, or should I say there were rumors that there would be protests from those who are sympathetic to the Confederate statues and the flags versus those who say we don't want hate in our state. But I want to say, Terry, that one of the reasons why we're seeing this is because our president, number 45, has given license to those who want to speak evil. Make no mistake about it, when you basically challenge those who are victims and get on national television and say, you know, there were some nice people in the crowd on both sides, but those who came to protest didn't have a permit and they were charging in on the alt-right. What you're doing is you're giving relevance to people who are irrelevant and giving them commentary when they're giving messages that are compromising.
Dr. Davis, it's been a pleasure having you in the studio this afternoon. I thank you very much, and you're welcome to come back anytime.
Wow, thank you for having me. And again, I want to thank you and the team at TodgeTalk.com. I think that this is a timely vehicle that's going to help disseminate information to our communities, that we might be informed, impacted, and better yet, inspired to do good work and keep on the fight, because there's so much work to be done.